Gura Davis, BBC News, Southern Lebanon.
Wadas Sadak is an independent member of the Lebanese parliament based in Beirut. I spoke to him earlier and he described the current situation in Beirut.
Actually, it was a really tough night. Most of the night we were hearing bombing. It was a horror night last night, but it's happening most of the nights. The actual fight is in the south. Now in Beirut, it's mostly about assassination or hitting Hezbollah infrastructure or things like that. So, yeah, it's not easy, but it's better than what's happening in the south.
Now, Israel says it's doing this operation and it's critical of the Lebanese government for not dealing with Hezbollah themselves. Israel says it must do so. What do you say to that?
I don't want to react about what Israel is saying. I need to really say or express our feeling here in Lebanon, or the feeling of most of the people and most of the parliament. I'm a member of parliament representing the capital Beirut, so I need to talk of what's really in the mind of the people here in Lebanon. First, the people are really tired because this is the third war we are facing in the last 20 years and the second in the last 2 years. And we're inside a war that we didn't even start as Lebanese, because in Lebanon we consider that Hezbollah is an Iranian army or part of the Iranian regime. So it didn't start in Lebanon. So I don't want to comment about what the Israelis are saying, but yes, definitely we had a problem in the last year, and not only with the government and not disarming Hezbollah fast enough to be able to execute their part of the ceasefire agreement, but also the Israelis were hitting Lebanon or the south most of the time. So the two parties didn't really execute the agreement, but at the end, this is what's happening. The Hezbollah started a war not because they were defending Lebanon or defending the last 1 year and a half of the Israeli assassinating 350 members of the Hezbollah militia, but because the Israeli and the Americans started a war against Iran. So they were defending Iran, not Lebanon.
What is the role for the Lebanese government at this point then?
Look, they took historical decisions in last August and last month, or after the beginning of the war. Last and 5th and 7th of August, as I remember, they took the decision that they will disarm Hezbollah. And after 2 days of the start, or 1 day of the start of this war, that Hezbollah started to support Iran, they took a decision that Hezbollah is a militia which is not official now in Lebanon. So, or a party which is not official. So the two decisions are really historical, but the execution is not here, and this is really the problem, because it's very complicated in Lebanon, and it's not easy to explain. In the last 30 years, the militias took over politically, not took over on the army or as a militia side, because when they took over the institutions of the government, they were able to rule as we are still in the civil war. So they didn't really build institution or army, and they took control of the country. So when we had the new government the last year, and it's really a good government and a very good prime minister, they were not able to execute the decisions, and this is really the problem. And everyone is saying that if the army want to go against Hezbollah by force, we'll go to a civil war. I doubt that, but this is what everyone is afraid of. So now the problem is that the government and the president took a decision. The army cannot execute that decision, and the Israelis want to see Hezbollah, and most of the world want to see Hezbollah disarmed. So this is why I really don't see that we can go into a solution in the near future.
Now let's have a look at a roundup of